Hello. You got your mic over here?
Yes, my glasses are a little foggy.
All right, all right. Yeah, it's quite bright out
Clean
here.
them really quick.
All right. Well, look, good morning, everybody. We're very lucky to have Metta World Peace up here today. Let's give them a round of applause and a good welcome. So I gotta say, for everyone who knows me, they know that I'm a huge NBA fan. What they don't know is that I only started following NBA like probably in the late 2010s. So I actually missed your whole championship run. Yeah. And the first thing that I can remember about you was your name. Because I remember there was like an article that came out at the time that was like, Ron Artest changes his name to Metta World Peace. And so I promised myself, when Jason asked me to moderate this panel, I promised myself the first question I had to ask was, please explain to us the origin of this name, Metta World Peace. And when you check into a hotel, do people call you Mr. World Peace?
Yeah, one I would like to say it's great to be here. Thank you, Jason and Beyond Global. It's so great to be in China for the 50th time in my life, but or almost 50. It's a lot. But yeah, when I was Ron Artest, obviously I was born Ron Artest, and my career was up and down. I had a lot of goals in my life, and I was going on this journey of finding myself. As an athlete, it's fun. You get paid money, you play sports, but at some point, you can lose yourself a little bit. So I wanted to find myself a little bit, and I went down the Buddhism route, changed my name to Metta, then added World Peace, and still played with the World Peace on the back of the jersey, which is really cool. World Peace for 3, like wow, World Peace just hit a 3. Never thought you'd hear that before, right?
World Peace for 3. Amazing. So, look, I mean, I know we're up here. It's a global investment summit, but, dude, you're a legendary basketball player. I think I have to ask some basketball questions. For those of you who don't know, Metta was Defensive Player of the Year. He was an All-Star, and he was also a champion with the Los Angeles Lakers. Could you just kind of share a little bit about that journey and, any memorable moments in that run?
Yeah, it was fun. My first year I came into the league averaging 12 points. My next year was 11.9. I got better every single year. Went to 15, to 18, to 24, then plateaued at about 20 points per game. Got Defensive Player of the Year. Had the best record in the league at one point in 2004 with the Indiana Pacers. Won a championship with Kobe. And if Yao didn't break his foot in Game 3, Houston versus the Lakers, I think that we win. I love the Lakers. But I think that if Yao didn't break his foot, we win the championship because Game 1, we won by 20 points. We were playing very well. T-Mac was hurt, and me and Yao was like a go-to 1-2 punch, so to speak. But Yao would have for sure had a championship.
Dude, just on that, because we also saw the big man kind of walking around in the background over here. He is beloved over here. And
he's right there.
Oh, there, he's right there. There you go.
Trick.
So come on, you got to tell us a little bit about playing with Yao, right? I mean, like, what was that experience like? Any memorable moments, like any fun stories that you can share?
Yao's incredible. People ask me this question a lot because I play with Yao, play with Kobe, play with Reggie Miller, and a lot of greats played against Michael Jordan. But in terms of Yao did everything that the 15th man on the roster did. Coach Adelman would have to tell Yao, along with us, stop running suicides. You don't need to keep running. But Yao did every single drill. He did everything like we did. And you got to keep in mind, when we showed up to an arena, Yao had the same amount of people as Kobe Bryant. You understand? So he was a superstar, still is a superstar. But very humble. So between Yao Ming, between Derek Fisher, Reggie Miller, Shane Battier, even though they're not on the level as Yao, but those guys stand out as kind of silent leaders.
No, that's amazing. Obviously after your stint with the Lakers, you spent some time in China. You played a season in Sichuan. I think in Chinese you were known as the 熊猫之友. Which means the friend of the panda.
Xi Jinping.
So can you how was that experience? Did you like
great.
Sichuan, the spicy food? I mean,
Well, you know, when I went to China, I hurt my knee in 2014. I just had a meniscus tear. It wasn't that bad, but it was I went to the Knicks the next season actually, and then I left the NBA for a year. Went to Italy. Went to China, and I always wanted to play in China. I always wanted to play in Europe, actually. You know, I want to go where the competition's at, and China is such a huge audience. So many basketball fans. People buy sneakers. You know, I never would have been exposed to China if it wasn't for Yao Ming in 2008. It was the first time I've been to China. You know, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, there's a lot of fans out here. So I said, you know, I got to tap into
You
this.
still have a lot of fans out here.
Yeah, I got one fan. No, but I said I gotta tap into it.
Yeah.
And that's when I got my Weibo in 2008, 2009. Okay. I was first on Weibo for sure.
Really? Wow. Is it still active? Are you still?
It's active, but I need to speak to somebody because I changed my number. So if you work for Weibo, I changed my
please
number.
Please let him know. Reach out.
And please change my number to what it is now so I can get the text, so I can then put in the code, so I can get control of my Weibo back. I don't have control of my Weibo.
Yeah.
And I would love it.
Okay,
So if you know anybody.
But you have a little red book now, right?
You have a little red book. But let's stay on Weibo for a second. I love Weibo. You know, I'm old school. Old school. No, but yeah, we have Red Book. We have Daoying and all the new platforms.
Yeah.
I actually had a QQ at one.
A QQ.
Yeah, I had one. I didn't know what I was doing with it, but I had it.
Super localized, man. Yo,
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's a good transition. I mean, like after basketball, you've done a lot of things, right? You've done some investments, you've done some, services and things like that. Maybe you could just share, touch a few things that you want to touch upon.
Yeah, you know, when I retired, I wanted to figure out how to sell merchandise where athletes affect the outcome of success. That's where it started at. And digital marketing became something of importance. I was thinking about it. So I went back to UCLA when I retired, just took some courses in digital marketing, digital analytics. I went to another school in Irvine, California, called Concordia Irvine. I did business analytics because I wanted to figure out how to market companies and then how to sell them. So I said, 99% of the people that are entrepreneurs and successful went to school. Like very few did a freshman year or just did not go to school and became successful. So I said, rather than leave it to chance, I'm just gonna go take some courses. And when I did that, it exposed me to more businesses. I built up my firm. We got about 40 companies in the portfolio now. And back when, I knew nothing about business. I was only focused on defense, philanthropy, right, and trying to win a championship. And then as I got a taste of business, I said, well, it took me 11 years to make it pro, from the age of 8 to the age of 19. So I said it's going to take me the same amount of time to make it pro in business. So that's from the age of, 37 when I retired until the age of, I'm 45 now. So now I'm entering in the NBA. And then it took me another 17 years to become a legend. So for me, I don't expect nothing easy. I like to work for everything. And then my goal was to be an operator. A lot of athletes are doing a great job, but for the most part, you don't find a lot of operating athletes. Where the chairman of the board, running the entire public show, right? The whole, and that's what I wanted to understand. And I said, if it takes me 10, 15 years to play that position, then so be it. And that's the journey I'm on now. And now I'm able to help more athletes. I got more verticals, more partnerships, things I did not understand as a 19-year-old kid. We understand now.
Yeah. No, that's amazing, and I love how you drew some parallels in terms of your basketball career and the way that you used your hard work and your defense and in that mentality. And you're applying it to business. I mean, is there anything that you would, tell young people today in terms of like how they're starting their path or, what they should be, thinking about?
Yeah, I think learn your passion inside out, partner with people, but be ready to exit because you might not want to be partners for a long time. So have a contract where you can get out of the contract if you need to. Very important. But learn to work with people, collaborate. The the team always win, and execution, right? Execution wins, and I think that would be my big advice.
That's awesome. Maybe we got 10 minutes left. Do we want to bring on your partner?
Yeah. Do you have another chair?
Can we? I guess.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's on the way. So.
So yeah, as we bring up, I could talk about him really quick. So
Yeah.
So now, you know, what I'm doing these days, I got a private equity management service company. So we're working with family offices, institutions, athletes across different businesses. And I opened up my first company in Hong Kong. I wanted to open up a company in Hong Kong, in China, in the mainland. I really wanted to do it in the mainland, but it was easier to go to Hong Kong first. My next company I'll open in the mainland. But I've been wanting to open up a company in Hong Kong for quite some time because doing business across border and not having a sustainable operations here, it's just too difficult. Yeah. You know, then you get, you know, so I finally, after 5 years, we'll bring up Matthew. We're gonna bring up Matthew to come up, and so after
Give
5
Matthew
years,
a round of applause.
we were finally able to partner, and Matthew will let you know what he's doing, and I'm excited. I got a company in China, and it's a great stepping stone for what we're trying to do. But Matthew,
Yeah. Well, thank you, Metta. And
our CEO.
yeah. So our company that we founded with Metta is 37 partners, and I would describe us as a brand lab that's kind of masquerading as a digital marketing company. And so what I mean is, so early on in meeting Metta, he told us a story about how after he won the championship and he was driving around LA and all the Nike athletes had billboards, but Metta wasn't signed with Nike. So like everyone else kind of monetized the moment of that. And you know, that really resonated with us. And I think it's a common story for a lot of athletes that they have these incredible moments on the court, but everyone else kind of takes a piece of it except for them. And so for us, we kind of want to give that ownership back to the athletes. And we thought China's like a fantastic place to do that. So the social commerce atmosphere and ecosystems in China are top of the world. I don't think the U.S. can compete at all. And so we thought if we localize the content that's coming out of these guys, we can create a incredible path to ownership for them. And so that's what we're doing with 37 partners.
That sounds super exciting. I mean, like, can you give us some examples of maybe some athletes that you guys are thinking about working with, or some of the products, or where they can find you guys? Yeah. So
obviously, with Metta as a network, we're starting with NBA players. So Katino Mobley, it's old Rockets player, played with Yao as well. Byron Scott, NBA legend. So those are the ones that we're starting with, and we're kind of letting the market tell us what brands to create for them. So when we put things on Douyin, our team is looking at comments, we're looking at the engagements, we're finding out what they want from these guys, and so we're trying to build from there.
Is there anything you wanted to add, Metta?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. You know, as an athlete, you can sign an endorsement contract and get paid millions of dollars. You could also launch your own brands, but one of the issues with an athlete, if you spend your time focusing on managing a team, leading a team, you're not necessarily focusing on running a business. And sometimes, you can get in a situation where the business can make you more capital, more money than even your contract, right? So if you could at least understand the nuts and bolts, the foundation, the infrastructure of businesses where sports affect the outcome of success. I mean, you're playing right to your strengths, right? You're playing right to your strengths. So marketing is key, partnerships is key, sales is key. Athletes typically don't have a sales channel and don't typically have a sales team, right? So if you're launching a brand, if you don't have these components in place, they're going to fail. So it was really exciting as I was launching my sports agency and my consumer practices that I'm launching in America. When I got a chance to meet with Matthew from his company's Expand Asia, so he has a company out here that's already successful. When we decided to partner on 37 partners, I mean, we just lined up perfectly. We've been in partnership for 6 months, and we're looking at getting the athletes, creating content, but then also one of the end goals is owning and controlling brands. in China, and I'll be focusing on outside of China. And now I have an extension, across the border, across the water, actually, and we'll be able to move fairly quickly, especially because the information that I've learned over the last couple of years, I'm speaking to every part of the supply chain personally. It's not like a manager. So I'm able to identify quicker, okay, let's work with this athlete, this investor, this partner, this sales channel, work with these digital marketing companies, these options, and I can bring it back to somebody like Matthew, and he's next level when it comes to structure and execution, and it just makes a perfect team. And I've been really interested in this market for quite some time, and I had to have a little patience, but I'm happy we're here now.
Well, that's awesome, and it's great to hear that you guys are having such a good, strong focus in China. I think of you guys, obviously you guys come quite a bit. Is there anything that you want to share about the trips to China and how you view the China market and I guess the opportunities that you see about bringing these Western athletes to China and how will that work?
Yeah, so I lived in Shenzhen for 16 years.
You
And
speak Chinese?
一点点。
哇，那我应该问你问题，你用中文。
So I think China is just supremely unique in regards to innovation. And I think if you look at like Instagram just compared to Little Red Book, for example, Instagram is great for content. But Little Red Book takes it to the next level. So it's content, it's commerce. So you can build narrative-based commerce, and that's what we want. I mean, athletes, celebrities, they have amazing stories, but they haven't taken the time to actually connect with the Chinese fans. Like Chinese watch the NBA, they love it, great. But if you look at a lot of these guys doing in Little Red Book, it's just what's on Instagram with subtitles. That's not localization. That's just translation. So that's what we're trying to. That's where we see the opportunity as.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, Metta. I mean, you've been in China for both sports, playing basketball, and also now with these business ventures. I think a lot of people understand that sports and just like business is cross-border. It's intrinsically it breaks down a lot of barriers. In these kind of macro environments, do you foresee any challenges or difficulties, or what is it an opportunity?
Life is a challenge. Life is difficult. So, anytime there's things happening, especially in politics, I just stay focused on the prize. I opened up my company in Hong Kong, and that's my focus. I'm coming back, working in the mainland and working in America. My job is not to get involved. I'm a social politician, meaning I want the best for people. Right, I do a lot in America in politics, in social politics, mental health side specifically. But when it comes to business, I think that's not my call to get involved. My call is I have a goal. It's to launch a huge company in Hong Kong and then the mainland next, and that's my focus. So I don't see any challenges. I see opportunities only.
That's great. Look, I mean, I think there's a lot of kind of celebrity-led and kind of athlete-led kind of ventures and brands out there today. I guess Matthew, how would you position this platform as kind of different or from what is out there already, or how would you then go out and pitch this to athletes in the U.S.? I mean, do you foresee any challenges there?
Yeah. So I mean, I think what separates us is we're trying to build IP for them. And so most of the time when you talk about marketing companies, they want to represent an athlete, they want to bring them sponsorship deals. And that's great. It's good revenue, it's fine. But at the end, we want them to have financial independence. And you only do that by owning stuff. And so I think that's the message to them, that's our pitch to them, is do you want to, no offense to Nike, but do you want to, be sponsored by Nike for 10 years, or do you want to own something for 50 years and pass it down to your kids? So, yeah.
And I guess just a final question just about this partnership. I mean, what is it like working with Metta, right? On a day-to-day basis, it's how do the business decisions get made? And is it?
So Metta has elite level work ethic. And so it's an inspiration. That's the best way I can put it. It trickles down to the team. Metta doesn't sleep. He's a machine. And that's the energy we have to bring to everything we do. So, yeah. it's been good.
No, that's awesome. I mean, like I was just backstage talking to Metta about his upcoming travel plans. It's like freaking crazy. Like 2 days here, 3 days here, globally. I mean, how do you manage this?
Well, it's just a huge opportunity. You know, when I'm on the fourth quarter, if my legs are tired and my lactic acid is building in my quads and my brain is sending signals saying, hey, you should quit because you're tired. I don't got time to quit. I'm trying to win a title. You see what I'm saying? So when you see these opportunities, you got to go get it, right? You got to go get it. You got to meet people in person. You know, COVID really hurt everybody around the world, and especially when I was launching my business, I couldn't get out. I'm like, oh no, this is bad timing. I got to just stay put. And then once they took off the handcuffs, I started to travel again because you got to meet people in person so I could see you, you know, to get deals done. You know, over Zoom, you know, you could be talking to a robot. Like, hey, see you soon. And, you know, it's an AI robot. I didn't even know. But that's why I like to travel. Sometimes I'll travel to 2 cities in a day if I have to. And, you know, for an hour meeting, I get home, I can sleep. I live in Los Angeles. The weather's beautiful, so when I get home,
That's amazing.
You know.
Sounds like the life. Look, I mean, our time's up, but I think just any last words for the audience?
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks, Jason and Michael for having us. You know, at Beyond Global, it was a great opportunity. I'm really excited. My partners got a chance to join us, and I'm looking forward to doing some collaborations, you know, with the principals and business leaders out there and founders.
Awesome. Thank you. Everybody give it up for Metta World Peace.
What an amazing discussion. Thank you to our speakers. Please remain on the stage.